Hello, everyone. This is Mr. Hepp. Welcome you to day two of U.S. history. We will start today with a Nearpod lesson, and that takes us to the three things that we will do today for history. After our introduction, which we're doing now with our Nearpod lesson, we'll have a very short review of what we talked about yesterday with our slides. And I'd kind of like to just to dive right in with our first assignment today, called The Theories of How People Got to America. And that's going to be covering slides 1 through 21 and some Nearpod questions, which I'll explain how that works as we go through. Yesterday, I said it for the review. What I did is I just sent out an email with a link to the slides here. So just to kind of give you a feel for what we're going to study this year. We have quite a few different topics. We do start a little bit about before the Europeans came to America with the people that had explored the Americas early on and the Native Americans, which is what we're starting with today. And we go all the way through from the early European explorers, and you see here through the presidents of our country, our how our country developed, and then we finish up with the Civil War, which is very interesting. A lot of kids really like to have that part of the class as we finish up throughout the year. The second thing we talked about was, and I'm sure you now, we've heard this from all your teachers, that we're going to have three groups. We're going to have a group A Monday, Tuesday that are here, group B Thursday, Friday, and then group C, which is virtual all the time. Okay. We also did, if you were watching this, you were able to join Google Classroom by putting in your code. And looks like most of you did a pretty nice job of that. So that brings us to where we're at right now. When we get to Google Classroom, the way I set up a Google Classroom is you will see that down on the bottom here, I have a category called General, and I put a lot of things in there that just I like to keep throughout the school year and we refer back to. Classroom expectations we'll be going over with students that are here during the day. We have the syllabus that we'll be talking about probably sometime next week. The virtual class expectations, which we'll go over through with all of us. We will talk a little bit tomorrow about our quarter one agenda homework page that we put together for students. If you want to, you just come to this site, click on that. That gives you your agenda. Miss Owens is an 8th grade teacher who teaches math and social studies. She has a tremendous site that she has for history. It's just got so many neat things there. We're going to be referring to that often. This is an assignment that we're going to do probably next week. Some email templates we'll talk about later. And then, of course, the last one was the slides from yesterday. What I'd like to do now is kind of show you what our first assignment is here. What I do is we post, it says here, Chapter 1, Roots of the American People. We take our textbook, which is 15 chapters, and in each chapter there's 4 sections. And what I have done is I have taken all the notes from the textbook and I've put them on Google Slides. And so when you click on it, it's going to look a little bit like this. And you can see it's 1.1, the earliest Americans, and that is what we're going to be using here today as we go through our lesson. As you open up the slides, you will see where the first slide, 1.1, will look like this. It'll say the earliest Americans on top. When we do start with a section, I do like to have written down on the first slide the topics that we will cover through this slide and would like you to know. And this will be the first picture of the slide. And a lot of times when you're watching the slides, it's best to watch them in present mode. Because I try to mess around with animation a lot, and it kind of helps point out some of the topics, and it makes it a little bit easier to understand if you use it in present mode rather than just going ahead and watching it straight up forward. Last slide here, we're going to continue with our Nearpod. What we're going to do is give you directions for using these slides that you just saw and how to answer some Nearpod questions so we can kind of get started as we go. Good luck, and as always, if you have questions as we go, please ask, okay? Email, ask in class. This whole year is going to be a learning experience for all of us, teachers included. We don't have all the answers starting out, how things are going to look and how they're going to work. So let's work together and let's move forward, and let's just do the best we can. That's all anyone can ask. All right? So I'll continue.